Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into The Book of Boundaries by Melissa Urban. This guide, published in 2022, equips readers with practical strategies for setting and maintaining healthy boundaries in various relationships. With over 130 scripts provided, the book ensures you have the precise words needed to establish limits that foster healthier and happier connections with those around you. Targeted at anxious parents, workers conscious of their time, energy, and space, and anyone struggling to say no, this book serves as a crucial tool for anyone looking to improve their interpersonal relations. Melissa Urban, the author, brings a wealth of expertise to this subject. As the co-founder of Whole30 and a New York Times best-selling author, she has profoundly impacted millions with her insights on health and personal boundaries. Dive into this episode to explore how the Book of Boundaries can transform your relationships and overall well-being. The Book of Boundaries: Set the Limits That Will Set You Free. Introduction: Setting the Scene for Healthy Relationships. Learn to establish effective boundaries. Imagine having an intrusive neighbor who, despite their charm, doesn't know when to stop dropping by uninvited. Comparing this to living next to a vampire might seem extreme, but in both cases, the solution lies in the same fundamental skill: setting boundaries. While you cannot change the fact that vampires exist, you can prevent them from overstepping by simply not inviting them in. Similarly, learning to establish and maintain boundaries can protect you from the draining effects of those who disregard your personal space and well-being. This overview of the Book of Boundaries will guide you through understanding what boundaries are and the vital role they play in maintaining healthy interpersonal dynamics. You'll discover not only when and where to set these limits, but also how to communicate them clearly and respectfully. With practical scripts and insights, this narrative is designed to empower you to handle relationship challenges effectively, ensuring that you, and even the metaphorical vampire next door, understand where the line is drawn. Part 1. Discover the gentle power of setting personal boundaries. Imagine you've embraced the habit of morning walks to invigorate your mind before the day begins. Yet, one day, your elderly neighbor begins accompanying you, unasked. It's uncomfortable to express your preference for solitude, isn't it? If you find yourself feeling agitated, drained, or simply overwhelmed by such situations, these are signals that it's time to establish some boundaries. Boundaries aren't just protective barriers. They're acts of kindness towards yourself. Remember the mantra, clear is kind. For instance, in dealing with your well-meaning neighbor, you could gently assert, "Hi, I've decided to take my morning walks alone this week to have some time to think." This approach not only sets a clear boundary, but does so with compassion and respect. Often, we misconceive boundaries as measures needed only in severe or harmful circumstances. However, boundaries are simply personal limits set to manage the energy we receive from and give to others. While it might feel awkward initially to set these limits, bear in mind that discomfort from overstressed interactions is far greater. Setting boundaries is also an act of kindness to others, providing clarity and honesty in your relationships. But when should you establish these boundaries? Listen to your inner voice, the one that hesitates or feels cornered during certain interactions. These feelings are subtle indicators that it's time to set a boundary. Up next, we'll explore Melissa Urban's threat level system, a practical tool for identifying when and how to effectively establish boundaries that safeguard your well-being and foster healthier interactions. Part 2. Mastering the threat level system for your safety and mental health. Imagine you're at a social gathering and a conversation takes a turn that makes you uncomfortable. Melissa, in a similar setting, was questioned about her choice not to drink alcohol, a decision linked to her personal journey in recovery. Initially, she brushed off the inquiry casually. However, as the individual persisted, shifting from mildly intrusive to blatantly disrespectful, Melissa realized she needed to categorize the threat using an intuitive system inspired by national security protocols. At first, the situation seemed innocuous, a green level where a simple polite refusal sufficed. But as the evening evolved, the ongoing pressure escalated the threat to a yellow level, demanding a firmer stance. When it reached a red level, the point where Melissa felt her safety and mental peace were at risk, she knew it was time to leave. This system demonstrates how to react dynamically as threat levels intensify. Green level. This is your starting point for minor initial boundary tests. A straightforward, "No, thank to you, I'm not drinking tonight," should suffice. Yellow level. If your initial boundary is disregarded, escalate your response. At this stage, it's crucial to be more assertive without over-explaining. "I have more fun sober, so no drinks for me." Red level. This level signifies a serious threat to your well-being. Direct and unequivocal statements are necessary. "I find your insistence disrespectful. Please, don't pressure me or others to drink. I'm leaving now." Each stage is an opportunity to clearly assert your boundaries without compromise. It's natural to experience anxiety or guilt when enforcing these limits. Many struggle with the fear of how others might respond, especially when personal traumas make such confrontations seem daunting. If you find setting boundaries particularly challenging, seeking professional counseling could provide additional support and strategies. Through understanding and utilizing the threat level system, you can protect not only your mental health, but also ensure your interactions remain respectful and safe. As we progress, understanding the wide applications of this system becomes more invaluable across various scenarios in life. Part 3. Leveraging the power of no to redefine productivity at work. Much like a storm that rearranges the landscape, the pandemic has reshaped our lives, blurring the previously sharp lines between work and home. In the wake of these changes, many find themselves sifting through endless emails or jolted awake by late-night messages. It seems our need to maximize personal gains also maximizes demands on our time and energy. Given this, reassessing our boundaries becomes not just useful but necessary for maintaining both productivity and well-being at work. But how do we begin? First, understand that most workplace boundaries fall under temporal constraints. Examine your workload. Are you inundated with demands, drowning in deadlines? What about your personal downtime? Many struggle with not taking sufficient breaks, leading to burnout. Privacy and mental well-being are also at stake when colleagues or work responsibilities encroach too much into personal spaces. If these scenarios strike a chord, it's time for a boundary reset. Saying no, especially to higher-ups, might seem daunting, but integrating your threat level awareness with scripted responses can facilitate this process. For instance, treat an unexpected task as a green level alert by negotiating, "I can handle this task if we adjust other deadlines or priorities." If pressure escalates to a yellow level, "I'm currently at capacity and cannot commit to additional tasks without compromising my existing commitments." Should the situation reach a critical red level, "My productivity and mental health are at risk with these additional responsibilities. I suggest we discuss viable solutions or adjustments." Documenting these interactions and the impact of increased demands helps clarify your stance and prepares you for potential pushbacks. Anticipate some resistance. Accusations of unprofessionalism or not being a team player might arise, possibly accompanied by passive-aggressive comments. Despite these challenges, remember that setting healthy boundaries isn't just beneficial for you. It enhances overall productivity and office morale. Also, explore formal guidelines such as your company's handbook or HR policies to understand acceptable practices and ensure your actions align with them. Documenting your boundaries and expectations can also help set clear standards for everyone involved. With these strategies, you empower not only yourself, but also encourage a healthier, more balanced workplace. Next, we'll explore how these principles apply to setting boundaries within family dynamics. Part 4. Navigating boundaries with parents for a harmonious family life. Imagine the quintessential visit to grandma's, where the air is sweet with the scent of homemade candies and laughter. It's a joyful scene, until the sugary aftermath unfolds during the car ride home, leaving children hyperactive and parents frustrated. If you face scenarios like this, where well-meaning actions by grandparents clash with your parenting rules, it's crucial to establish firm, yet loving boundaries. But how can you do so without straining family relationships or curtailing delightful visits? Start with the principle that clear is kind. Open a dialogue with grandparents by expressing appreciation for their love and care while gently asserting your parenting guidelines. It's important to acknowledge their efforts and sacrifices, but equally vital to clarify that the final decisions regarding your children's health and well-being rest with you. For instance, if overindulgence in sweets is a concern, approach the topic with tact and empathy. You might say, "Mom, Dad, I really appreciate how much you adore spoiling the kids with treats. However, it makes the drive home quite challenging when they're too energetic. How about I pack some snacks that they can enjoy here instead?" This form of communication shows respect for their role while firmly setting your boundaries. If gentle reminders fail and the issue persists, it's time to employ a stronger stance. Escalate your request by reiterating your needs more firmly. I've mentioned before how the sweets affect the kids. It's important for their well-being that we stick to this. I'd hate for it to affect their visits here, which they love so much. Be prepared for some pushback since establishing new dynamics can be challenging for everyone involved. However, maintaining your stance respectfully and consistently is key. If necessary, prepare to enforce consequences as a last resort, such as reducing the frequency of visits. While this might seem drastic, it underscores the importance of your boundaries. Effective boundary setting with parents over how they interact with your children can initially seem daunting but is essential for the well-being of all parties. Remember, open communication and consistency are your best tools. Next, let's explore equally delicate terrain: setting boundaries with in-laws. Part 5. Find common ground with the magic number technique in relationships. Unexpected visits, especially from in-laws, can disrupt your peaceful moments and personal space. A familiar scenario for many. When you're settled into your quiet routine and suddenly hear the back door swing open with a cheerful, "Hello, anyone home?" It can indeed be jarring. While a simple, "Please call before you come over," might suffice for friends or distant relatives, navigating this with in-laws often necessitates a more nuanced approach. How then can you address the dreaded pop-in without causing familial strife? The key lies in cultivating an open dialogue with your partner. They might very well be accustomed to their parents' unannounced visits, perhaps overlooking the discomfort it causes you for the sake of peace. It's essential, then, to express how much it affects you and ask for their support in setting boundaries. Enter the magic number technique, a straightforward strategy to facilitate compromise and understanding. Here's how it works. Rate your level of discomfort or inconvenience when your in-laws drop by unannounced on a scale from 1 to 10. Have your partner do the same regarding the importance of allowing their parents unrestricted access. For instance, if you rate your discomfort as an 8 and your partner considers unrestricted visits a 5 in terms of importance, it signals a clear need to prioritize your comfort when establishing boundaries. This numerical approach helps quantify feelings and priorities, making it easier to see where compromises are possible and necessary. Initiate this discussion, underlining that this isn't about winning an argument, but about enhancing respect and understanding in your shared living space. Adopting the magic number technique can lead to more balanced solutions and can lessen the tension typically associated with negotiating personal boundaries with relatives. As we continue, we'll explore how to apply similar principles to strengthening boundaries in other personal relationships. Part 6. Embrace clarity and trust in your communication to strengthen relationships. The initial phases of a relationship often shimmer with excitement and mystery, drawing us into delightful uncertainty. However, if a relationship stagnates at this surface level, misunderstandings and disappointments are bound to arise. Picture a scenario where you're deeply invested in your partnership, relishing plans for the future, but suddenly an incident leaves you bewildered and wounded. Often, such turmoil stems from a failure to communicate transparently, which can be just as harmful as deception. To navigate such challenges, ingrain this essential principle into your relationship ethos. Always say what you mean. This directive should be as fundamental and visible in your life as a proverb etched in stone. Clear communication sustains trust and understanding, crucial components for a lasting bond. When tough topics or decisions surface, approach them with honesty and kindness, and expect the same from your partner. For instance, if your partner expresses a need to spend a night out with friends for emotional respite, take their words at face value. Conversely, if their plans make you feel left out or anxious, articulate those feelings openly. This strategy applies to everyone in the relationship, regardless of gender, ensuring that both parties can voice their preferences and concerns freely. To sum up, adhering to this communication rule prevents unnecessary conflicts and deepens mutual respect. By advocating for transparent dialogue, you foster a relationship environment where trust flourishes. Reflecting on the broader guideline, it becomes apparent that while boundaries are sometimes essential, they aren't always the solution. In many cases, simple, honest communication can resolve potential issues before they necessitate strict boundaries. Final summary. Clear-cut boundaries not only bolster your self-awareness by pinpointing your personal limits, but also cultivate an environment of mutual respect with those around you. When you successfully implement boundaries, you'll likely notice an uplift in your self-esteem and realize that preserving your own space isn't an act of selfishness, but of self-respect. This newfound confidence might inspire you to enforce limits in other aspects of your life, empowering you to decline situations that drain your energy. Self-boundaries are equally important. Let's be honest, we all could use more discipline, whether it's resisting that extra piece of chocolate or curbing nightly social media binges. Setting a determined boundary can surprisingly make adherence easier. For instance, if you aim to decrease screen time before bed, firmly tell yourself, by avoiding my phone an hour before sleep, I'll rest better and improve my overall sleep quality. This minor shift in routine can significantly enhance your night, making late-night scrolls far less alluring. To reinforce this, try leaving your phone outside the bedroom to avoid temptation. With these principles in hand, you're well equipped to begin establishing your boundaries. If uncertainty still looms, or if the scenarios presented here don't directly align with your concerns, craft tailored scripts based on different threat levels for various situations. You may find that these boundaries not only improve your personal life, but also profoundly impact your overall well-being and happiness. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.